Today I'm going to be interviewing Lauren Bateman. Now she went from 0 to 91,000 subscribers in record time. So all of you looking to grow your subscriber base really quickly, this is the interview for you. We're going to be talking about how to monetize YouTube. We're going to be talking about YouTube growth, YouTube tips. How much does YouTube pay? We're going to find out by looking at her numbers. How many views does somebody with 91,000 subscribers get? Lauren's going to give us some of her best YouTube tips and strategies, so stay tuned. You're going to find a lot of value in today's episode. So I am Jason, and I am here with Lauren Bateman, and I met her through a Facebook group, and she has graciously agreed to come on and tell us a little bit about her story. So basically, this is what I know. You have a YouTube channel about beginning guitar, correct?
Yep. Yeah, all about guitar lessons. Yep.
All right. And you have 92,000 subscribers.
Yep.
And that's about what I know. So for our viewers, why don't you just kind of give us your story and tell us how you went from 0 to 92,000 and what that journey's been like.
Yeah. So, I'm someone who started a YouTube channel many moons ago, back in 2010. And I was using it more. I'm a musician, so I was a performer. So I was just kind of like throwing my performance stuff up there, and but wasn't really using it, I guess, the way that I'm using YouTube today. And I didn't have like a big channel at all. I think I maybe had 50 followers, and half of them were like family members. So, it was one of those. But I do have some, brick and mortar music schools. I'm actually at one of those today. So, okay. I used to teach one-on-one myself. And that's how I started my business. And as it grew and I started opening commercial locations, I got away from the teaching side of things and started going more to the management side of things. And that has changed because, I really love teaching. I really love doing the teaching stuff. So, but, to do a lot of that one-on-one, I just didn't have the time, and to manage the schools. So I started saying, well, what can I do that fits my busy schedule that I can still do a bit of teaching, help some people that I like to help. And because, music was such a big part of my life growing up, and just in life in general, it helped me a lot. So I just wanted to make sure that, that was accessible to people. And I said, I could probably reach more people, because these music schools are very local, very, to the community here. I'm in Boston, in Massachusetts. So it's kind of like a community-based thing. And I was saying, I know I can do more than just like the little local region. So I started 2017. It was April 2017. I uploaded my first guitar lesson video, and I got 1 view. And I think that was my view. It was probably me just making sure it worked. And that was a song called Horse With No Name. And it was just like a very beginner guitar lesson that I did. And from there, I just kept uploading things in my spare time. I was kind of doing it very part-time, more as kind of like a hobby type thing. I think that's how a lot of people start. I'll start a YouTube channel. So I, that summer I did a lot of posting, and then it kind of fizzled out a little bit. And then, I'd have more downtime, and then I'd post more content. So I was really doing it very haphazardly. And not much was happening those first couple of years. So 2017, 2018, I recorded a guitar course for beginner guitar players. And I started selling that through my website and, through the YouTube channel, just letting people know, hey, I have a course. If you guys are interested, go over and check that out. And in 2019, things really started taking off.
Now, let me pause you. Let me pause you right
me.
there. All right. So 2017, 18, you're uploading, as you said, when you had time, not a lot of consistency.
Yeah.
You had your website, you come up with a course. At that time, before we hit 2019, how many subscribers do you think you had going into 2019, if you had to guess?
Yeah, I think I got monetized in August of 2018. So that was 1,000 after a little over a year.
Right, from April.
And
April
then
2007. Okay. Yeah,
so about a year and 4 months, I had broken the 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time, whatever it is, to be monetized. And I would say 2018, I couldn't have had more than 5,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So still a relatively small channel.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, my
big by
channel,
lots of standards, but not
yeah,
compared to where you are now.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely, yeah, yeah. I've seen a lot of growth in the last couple of years.
Okay. So 2019, your course comes out. Okay. Keep going with your story. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no. So I mean, I have the course. I have the course in 2017, but 2018, I think I started getting more traction with what I was doing. I was being a little bit more consistent, and I actually took some time myself to to study like what things should you do on YouTube, what
Right.
shouldn't you do, like what are things that will get you more views, more subscriberships. I started taking it a little bit more serious as a business when I
Mm-hmm.
started seeing sales come in more consistently. But I mean, I wasn't making a ton of money, but I mean, it was nice.
Right.
It was extra money for me to have, through the month. And then towards the end of 2019 in October, I started getting more frequent emails with course sales. And I said, gee, I go, something's weird, because like I would get course sales, but they were coming in like almost every day and like multiple a day.
So let me ask you while we're on this.
Yeah.
So that tells me that your course sales were automated. You didn't
Yeah.
have to get on the phone or something. What
Yeah.
were you just using a plugin on your website, or were you using like a course that
Yeah.
you pay a
So
subscription for?
at the time I was using Teachable. So I
Okay.
had a website, and I had a sales page on my website. And then if they clicked the buy now button, that would take them to a checkout over on Teachable.
Okay.
So that's what I was using at that time. I use a different course software now, but that's how I was doing it. So everything was run through PayPal. They would put in their credit card information, and they would get the course. It was online, and once they paid, they were able to log in right away.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how it worked in the beginning. In the beginning.
In the beginning.
But like I said, I saw her in 2019. I said, gee, something's like happening here, because I'm seeing these sales come in and I'm not sure why all of a sudden I'm seeing so many of them. And I decided, okay, let me go check. First thing I'm doing, let's go check the website. Maybe something's happening on the website. So I go into, the analytics, and I see that traffic is way up. There's like been this spike in traffic, and I'm like, okay, well, where's the traffic coming from? Well, I saw that some of it was coming over from another source, but I couldn't really link it, because when you click over from YouTube, I don't think it really tracks that well.
Right.
I said, let me go check on YouTube and see what's happening there. And I noticed a huge spike in my viewership on YouTube, because one of those old videos, and I'm talking like old videos that are, it's probably as crappy and grainy as this Zoom call here. It's probably even worse. I think the lighting in this is actually better than that video. But it was this old video I did in 2017. And for whatever reason, it all of a sudden got picked up by YouTube, and YouTube started recommending that video to people to start watching it. And it was just
After 2 years. After 2 years of just sitting there.
Yeah.
Wow.
It basically sat there for 2 years and didn't really do much. I mean, it was getting views, but probably like an average amount of views for like
Right.
someone who has 5,000 subscribers and not really like a big following. So that just took off, and I was like, holy crap. I said, I need to start taking this really seriously
Right.
at this point, because I was getting better at it and I was learning things. But when that happened, I said, okay, now I really got to dive in and go all in on this.
Mm-hmm.
Which is very fortunate, because we know what happened in 2020. The whole world shut down and everyone went online. So at that point, like you said, going back to the automation, I had everything kind of set up and automated and was ready for
Right.
online already. So, 2019, I started riding that wave. And then obviously when the world shut down, things really kind of took off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and now I think you're at 92,000 subscribers. Something like that.
Yep.
So let me go back to your course, as long as you're okay with it.
Absolutely.
Is your course, how much were you selling it for at the time? And you mentioned you use a different software now.
Yep.
Is it the same price? And what software are you using now?
So now I use Kajabi, because
Okay.
there's a lot more automations in that, and that's why I like it more. So, with Teachable, it was a little more hands-on. So if someone like someone's payment didn't go through, you'd have to go in and like remove the person. Like there was a lot more things you had to go in. Or if you wanted to do like automated emails, you'd have to link up MailChimp with it. So I kind of wanted everything within one system.
Okay.
So that's why I switched over to Kajabi. And I had taken a lot of courses in Kajabi, so I was familiar with the platform and I thought it was a nice platform. So that's why I switched over, just for more functionality and automation for growth. And yeah, sorry. So the question was,
and how much is your course?
How much was the course? Yeah. So I think when I first started selling it, I was selling it for like $97.
Okay.
And right now, it's $147 right now, which I still think is low because I've added a lot of things to it. But now I have other stuff that I can upsell people with after they purchase. So when I first started, I just had this one course and that was it. There was like nothing else they could buy after that. There was nothing else like, well, what do they do after they finish the course? So that's what I started doing in 2019 more, was expanding my course offering. So maybe they started at $147, but eventually maybe they end up spending like $500 with me, doing some sort of lifetime membership. Or maybe they don't want to do that, but they really want, they did the beginner course, but they really want to learn how to strum better. So they go and buy the strumming course. So there's different things now that they can kind of opt into, which I didn't have when I first started.
So so we're talking a little bit about monetization from that side. So you have your courses and you have multiple courses at this point that you can upsell. Do you do any kind of affiliate marketing at all, or just the courses?
At that time, it was just the courses.
Okay.
Yep. That's all I was doing.
And then as far as revenue goes, you said you're monetized now on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Could you go into a little bit, share whatever you're comfortable with as far as how that ad revenue plays out for you?
If you like learning about making money online, making money through YouTube, growing a YouTube channel, side hustles, entrepreneurship, all that kind of stuff, make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of our episodes.
Could you go into a little bit, share whatever you're comfortable with as far as how that ad revenue plays out for you?
Yeah. So, I mean, because everyone, when they're on YouTube, they focus on, how much money can you make with YouTube ads? And, when I first got monetized, it's like, I think I made like 5 cents the first day and you're like, woohoo. But
if I could do it 5 cents once, I could do it 5 cents a million times.
So, but it was kind of like a proof of concept to me that, okay, I'm like, I can make a video and I can make 5 cents off that video. So if I keep making videos, like I'll make more money. So obviously depends on, the theme of your channel. I'm sure technology channels make more money on their ads because of the things they can advertise. So it's going to depend on what your channel's on. But for me, on average, I probably am about like $4,000 a month on ad revenue, and that's about 500,000 views.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know what, because everyone's like, well, what's the cost per 1,000 views? I don't know. I didn't do that, but 4,000 divided by 500,000, you'll get the answer. But that's what I do in terms of the YouTube ads. And for that, now I reinvest a lot of that money just back into the business with doing my own promotions and stuff now. But the majority of the money comes from the course sales.
Okay. So your course sales are bigger than your ad revenue sales, for sure. So if somebody's doing something like this, they should look at how they can keep the sales to themselves.
Right. And that's what, when I work with people, who want to do YouTube channels, I'm not someone, I was talking to someone earlier today and I was like, I'm not like a viral video maker. I have a video that has over 1 million views. Like I have a video that has taken off and I get videos that get big now. But like, I'm not the person jumping off roofs trying to make viral videos. That's not my thing. What I focus on is like helping people like myself who have a skill, who have knowledge. Hey, let's put that into a course that you can sell. Because, when you're doing a YouTube channel, people always ask me, well, if I'm giving it to them for free on YouTube, why would they buy it from me? And I'm going to tell you, they absolutely will buy it from you. People are looking for that organization. YouTube is a
Right.
really kind of hodgepodge. You click on this video and then all of a sudden you're watching like puppy videos, 10
Right.
videos later, go down that wormhole. So people like having things in a neat, organized way. They love printouts, they love worksheets. So there's definitely things that a course has that YouTube doesn't. And I don't do a lot of my application stuff on YouTube. So a lot of like the practice stuff, people will ask me questions and I'm like, I don't have that here. You gotta buy the course for that.
Right.
But you're more, people be like, I don't have the money. And it's like, well, there's plenty of, all my free stuff is on YouTube. If it's not on YouTube, then you got to pay for it. So, and I probably got a couple hundred guitar videos now. So there is plenty of free stuff. If someone wants to like find all 200 of my videos and watch them, they can. And I'm sure they'll get far and they'll learn a lot if they don't want to pay any money. But there's going to be people, it's the law of reciprocity. If you help someone get a win, they like you, they want to work with you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, because I've noticed this in talking with other YouTube people. A lot of times they say that most of the views don't come from your subscribers, but I would think in your instance, a lot of your subscribers probably rewatch your videos if they're trying to learn guitar. Do you see that most of your views are organically new views, or do they come from your subscribers?
They're still new. Yeah.
Really?
Actually, I was looking at my analytics yesterday because I was recording some stuff for my YouTube course. And of the views that I had gotten in this past like 28-day period, I think it was almost like 450,000, I think close to 300,000 of those were new viewers, like views from new viewers that YouTube was pushing out the videos to new people. Because what happens, you kind of get to a point where if you do all the right things and your channel grows, you kind of like win authority with YouTube, and YouTube starts saying, okay, well, if this person who's a subscriber likes this, well, let's show it to this person who's not a subscriber, but like this person. So YouTube actively starts showing your videos to people who aren't maybe in your audience.
So speaking of the machine of YouTube, while we're on that topic, if someone's growing a channel, let's say there's a newbie and they have less than 5,000 subscribers, what would you recommend are some of the key things that they absolutely must be doing, and maybe a thing or two that they should not be doing to grow that channel?
Absolutely. So what I tell people to do is, in the beginning, like really almost niche down. So, I'm a guitar teacher. Guitar lessons online is a very broad topic. I really had to focus in on what I wanted to do with guitar. So for example, I teach, my demographic is actually over the age of 55. I prefer to teach people who are retired, who are older. So my content is more catered towards an older learner. Now that excludes a large portion of the population, but it also includes a lot of people who tend to be ignored by other guitar teachers, So when I'm doing content and stuff, I'm trying to really cater it to my audience. So for example, my audience wants to learn, CCR and Led Zeppelin. They don't want to be learning Ariana Grande, they probably would never click on that video.
Okay.
I think knowing who your audience is and making content specific to that audience is important. But I also think investing in some good like SEO software can be helpful in the beginning, because YouTube is a search engine. And if you don't treat it like one, then it's not going to work for you. And that's what I found. The faster I learned about how to treat my videos like web pages and search engine optimize them for search, that's when things started taking off way more. Okay. Yeah, so that's a huge thing. And for, try not to go over or after like the big topics. If I did beginner guitar lessons, like if I have 1,000 subscribers, I'm never going to be found for beginner guitar lessons. But if you do, beginner, top 3 mistakes people over the age of 50 when they're learning guitar, like a very specific, people might actually get to watch that video. People might see that video. So that's what I recommend to people. Obviously, there's what I call foundational items. For example, how to hold a guitar, how to tune a guitar. I have to have those items on my page because that's the foundation for how to play a guitar. If it's
Right.
not in tune, you can't play it. I'm never going to rank for how to tune a guitar. Now, where I am now, I can maybe go back and redo some of those older videos, and maybe I could rank for how to tune a guitar. Maybe not. I might have to use a very specific guitar tuner brand to rank well.
How
But
people over 50 can tune a guitar.
exactly. How to tune a guitar if you're over 50. But I mean, that's the concept. It's, okay,
Right.
so it's how to tune a guitar. And it's like, well, maybe it's not how to tune a guitar. It's how to tune an electric guitar with a clip-on tuner.
Exactly. Well, I
So
think
you're
it's
going,
real.
really, really niche down on this, what this keyword or what this video is going to be about.
And I'm glad you shared your audience, because I think a lot of people may think, well, YouTube you would think is for a younger generation. Here you are going to for people in the older generation that want to learn guitar, and you already have 92,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
You're getting 500,000 views. So I think that just shows how big the YouTube search engine is getting.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, I look, so I think over 50% of my audience is over the age of 45.
Yeah, so that's really neat.
And 40% of it's over the age of 55. So I'm hitting my demographic. Obviously, you can see, though, even though I cater to the older demographic, I'm still getting people who are younger that watch the information.
Now, let me ask you, you mentioned SEO software. I know there's a couple different ones do you use what would be traditionally like a search engine tool like Uber Suggest or something, or do you use a YouTube specific one like
I use a YouTube specific software.
Which one do you recommend?
So there's a couple. They both essentially kind of do the same thing. I really like TubeBuddy. That is my preference. The other one is vidIQ. And they're both very, very similar. So I think it's just a personal preference, the way people will like the layout. But I've used TubeBuddy now for a few years, and I just really like it. That's the one I recommend. But essentially, they kind of do the same things.
And I use vidIQ. So if you're watching this, I will put a link to vidIQ and TubeBuddy in the bottom, in the description, which for me, when I started YouTube, you couldn't convince me that someone actually clicks on the links in the descriptions.
Oh, they do.
But they do. They all the time. They click. I didn't even know that was down there. So I guess just to wrap it up, if anybody watching this wanted to reach out to you or connect with you, would you say YouTube, your website? How would you say that they do that? And I'll put a link to the description of that as well.
Yeah. So my YouTube website for that's fulltimeyoutubers.com. But if you want to send me an email directly, you can just always send an email to info@laurenbateman.com. Laurenbateman.com is my guitar teaching website, but info@laurenbateman.com. If you want to shoot me an email, I'll definitely get it. And I'm active on Facebook and Instagram as well. If you do searches for Lauren Bateman,
all right. Well, there you have it, folks. That's my interview with Lauren. And Lauren, I appreciate you taking the time to get with me and do this. I'm sure everybody's going to find it very helpful and useful. And thank you for your time.
Awesome. You're welcome. Thanks so much for having me.
All right. Have a good day.